Now, both the Manpower Ministry and the police, Olivia, are looking into the case of Miss Party Liani, now the former domestic worker who was acquitted of stealing from Changi Airport Group chairman Liew Mun Leong and his family. MOM said that in its consultation with the Attorney General's chambers as to whether any further action ought to be taken following comments by the judge, Justice Chan Seng Onn.
That's right. Well, the AGC had said that it would be studying Justice Chan's judgment. Meanwhile, the police also said that they would be looking into several observations of police investigations made by Justice Chan. Now the case is garnering some attention indeed. So let's bring in law correspondent at the Straits Times, Selina Lum. Now, Selina, what were the most startling points of this case for you?
Hello. I think one of the most startling things was that there was a 5-week delay between the time that the Liew family called the police and the time that the police actually came to the crime scene to take photos of the items that were allegedly stolen. So the report was actually made on the 30th of October, and it was only 5 weeks later that the police came down on the 3rd of December to the house to take photos of the items. And plus the fact that during this 5-week period, the family members were actually, taking items from the boxes, and there was an intermingling of items. So the judge basically said that, there's a break in the chain of custody of the evidence, and plus the delay, right? So which means that the photographs that were taken doesn't accurately represent the items that were found in the boxes 5 weeks earlier. The other one was the High Court judge. In particularly, he highlighted that Mr. Carl Liew was dishonest and was not a credible witness. And he actually said that, the district judge was wrong to have found that he was credible during the trial in the state courts. This is particularly because the maid was actually accused of stealing a large number of items from Mr. Liew. But even during the trial, the district judge found that she had doubts over whether some of the items actually belonged to Mr. Liew as he had claimed. This included women's clothing, which were smaller sized, and during the trial, Mr. Liew actually claimed that he wore women's t-shirts sometimes. So the district judge actually disbelieved him and removed these items from the charge. So the High Court judge said that the district judge should not have gone on to find that he was a credible witness in the light of his dishonesty over those particular items.
You were in court last Friday when Miss Party was cleared of the 4 theft charges. Could you describe her reaction and the mood in the courtroom?
She was very emotional after she was acquitted, and there were about 10 people in the public gallery at the time, people from the Indonesian embassy, and then people from home where she had been staying at the shelter. And after she was acquitted, they hugged each other and they cried, and they were very emotional after that. Yeah, and some of the people from home who have been with her for a long time, they also got very emotional, and they also broke down and cried. She also hugged Mr. Anil Balachani.
Selina, Miss Party has been staying in a migrant workers' shelter since 2016, from around the time the original police report was made on October 30th, 2016. So it's been a 4-year ordeal for Miss Party. What damages then is her legal team seeking?
Right. Her lawyer has actually said that they will be seeking compensation. First, they'll be trying to contact the Liew family for compensation, and we are not privy to the exact amount that they're seeking. But what they have said so far is that they are seeking compensation for the salary because she has not been able to work these 4 years. So what they have been able to reveal to us is that primarily they are looking at the compensation for the salary that for all these 4 years that she was earning about $600 a month. The second option is that under the Criminal Procedure Code, there is a provision which allows a person who has been acquitted to seek compensation against the state for vexatious prosecution. And I think under the law, there's a maximum of $10,000. But of course, it is an uphill task for somebody to prove that prosecution was frivolous or vexatious. Yeah, but this is the second option that her lawyer has mentioned.
Now, Ms. Party's been acquitted, but does it end here, Selina? What's next for her, as well as the agencies whose protocols have been called into question?
So I think for her, she still faces an outstanding charge for fraudulent possession of property. And of course, now it depends on whether the prosecution still wants to go ahead for a trial on this charge, or whether it wants to withdraw the charge against her. So until this charge is settled, she can't really leave Singapore. And as for the police investigations, well, I think the police have already said that they are looking into it. So I guess they will have to look at whether how this case was investigated actually breached any form of, SOP or guidelines or whatever.
Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you, Selina. Thanks so much for taking the time. That was law correspondent Selina Lum, and you can read all about this case over at straitstimes.com.